SPY still coming in. I'm gonna get starting. This market's starting to look a little weak now. Again, I closed my Netflix. It's moved back up to 12.20. I could have got more for it, but again, I'm happy with that. I'm done with it. So it's down to 57, 58 cents right now. Maxim, see Carvana PCS October 350, 340 for $2. Carvana 350, 340. Yeah, that's another decent one right there. 350, 340. It's below the 50-day moving average. You can get $2 for it. That's pretty good. That's what you want to get for it. For a $10 spread, you want to get $2. That's a 25% return. Yeah, nice. That's a nice look on Carvana. My plans for VSAT. Well, it's $29.58. I'm not going to get any premium out of this on the sale this week. This week's sale. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm going to see if I can get any kind of profit in my strangle. But it's trading right at $29.50, which is right in between the two strikes. So this is a pretty ugly situation for that position. I'm going to hold October's until I see what this thing does over today and Monday. But for today, we're not. You can sell it if you want to try to get something on it now. All we can get on it is let's see, probably 20 cents or something. VSAT right now, yeah, 22 cents. So you can take it off for 22 cents if you want. It has to bounce over 30 before it starts to move back up again. But if it goes to 30.20 or 30.30, you could get 50 cents out of this thing. So it really just kind of depends. I'm just going to watch it. I got $22 at risk in this thing, additional risk. I'm just going to watch it for now. I have no idea what the market's going to do this afternoon, so probably not a lot. Market just trying to bounce a little bit now. Yeah, the VSAT is a crappy trade. I mean, it's just not working, and there's nothing else more to say about it. It's a bad trade. It was a good looking trade, but it's not working. And I closed my Netflix put credit spread. We took profits in Lanier today on the time spread. And it's a very choppy market here today. It's a low probability trading environment. Yeah, not looking to do too much right now until we can get some market direction. Market internals are just drifting down all day long. You know, they have little pops, but they're drifting down. Come on, UNH bouncing off the 8, yeah. I'm watching it. It's bouncing off the 8 here on the 5-minute chart. It's trying to get above the 8 on the daily chart. It's bouncing right off the bottom of the gap right here. Nice PBO. This is turning into a nice PBO. I'm going to kind of wait for some confirmation on it. What do you mean so old? You can remember when triple witching was an eventful day? Yeah, it used to be called quad witching, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably toward the end of the day we'll probably get some action, but a lot of these positions have probably been already rolled this week. So I just took a little bite out of SYM just now. Yeah, nice little move in SYM. Okay, gonna look for some stocks here. Hey, Jonathan. When you hear my reference market internals, are you talking about the T2104? Yeah, I've got a couple of things. I use T2104 in my TC2000. I use this VOLD over here on Thinkorswim. They're a little different, but it does give us an overall view of the direction of the market internals right now. And the market internals, the T2104 is also showing a downward slope here today. This is it. This is the T2104 right here. This purple and blue lines. See, we've had moving down, moving up, moving down, but you see these, we're putting in lower highs on this T2104. So the market internals are bearish right now. It's hard to take anything long right now into that. I don't have any more, Alfie. I don't have any more. Right, on UNH, I'm sort of tiptoeing into this trade. I just took a call debit spread on it for next week, not for today, for next week. I took a 340, 250. A 340, 250. So up there at the top of this candle here. Assuming we're going to get a bounce off this gap. We have not cleared the 8 yet. We're bouncing off the 15. This is a little bit of a trade that is based on anticipation. So I took a 340, 250, and I paid what did I pay for it? $1.07 for it. $1.07. So a good $1.07, they can go to 250. So a decent trade for next week. And it's I don't really like take dev spreads that go out another week, because I'm going to have to wait on it most likely to get the profits I want, because there's still quite a bit of time left on next week's calls, and especially the ones that I sold. So again, I took a 340, 250. I paid $1.07 for it, and that's how I'm tipping to. If this gets above the 8 and closes above the 8, I'll probably take some straight calls out into about the second or third week in October. But right now I'm just waiting. So that's how I'm kind of hedging this. I like it. I don't really want to go spend $1,500-$1,600 on calls yet until I feel a little bit more comfortable about this breaking out. But I don't mind buying some. I didn't buy an awful lot of contracts, but I am in the UNH put credit spread. I'm not put credit spread. The UNH call debit spread for next Friday. Whoops. I think I had my mic off after I was talking all about that. I said I'm tiptoeing into UNH by taking a call debit spread for next Friday. A 340, 250. 340, 250. For next Friday, I paid $1.07 for it. I want to get long the stock if it bounces above this 8 and stays above the 8. But I don't want to dive into these calls yet, because I want confirmation. And they're expensive. I mean, it's $1,500-$1,600 a call for these in the money calls on UNH. So I just took a debit spread to start the position on this. Volume isn't that bad. We've had slower days this week. Yeah, volume's not too bad. But it's a chop fest for sure. Again, I took UNH. I took a call debit spread for next Friday. I'd like to buy some calls on this thing. Sunil, LEN spread yielded us profit about 5% instead of 20. And it probably would be, if you got the same price as we did, that's your commission. I don't know how much the slippage was. If you get in for 95 and out for $1.15, you get $20. I don't know how much commission you could charge. That seems like an awful big drop from 20 to 5% on a. I mean, 5% on that 95 would have only been 5 cents, and that's about a 5% gain. So, not sure where all the cost is coming from there. I mean, you wouldn't have slippage if you get in for 95 and out for $1.15. There was no slippage. That's you get in for what we get in for, and you get out for what we get out for. So if you're only getting 5% gain on something that was a 20% gain, it seems like an awful lot of commission coming out of those things. I mean, you only made 20 cents, so I suppose if you had enough commission coming out of it, it would knock it down that much. Yeah, I talked to the brokers too. I don't know why. That seems like I mean, on one contract, if you went from 95 to $1.15, you would have made $20, right? So you would have made $20 on one contract. So to make 5% of that, you would have had to have $15 in commissions taken out of there. That seems a little extravagant. I could see maybe 50 cents, but not $15. All right, so market, again, it's a low probability trading environment for sure. Anticipatory trade, yeah, the UNH is kind of an anticipatory trade. I mean, if I was doing a real anticipatory trade, I would have bought calls on it. But I'm kind of hedging it a little bit by using the call debit spreads. But I'm looking to get into it. I'd kind of like to do it today, but I don't know what the close is going to look like on it. I mean, this is you can see we've had a pretty substantial pullback. Now I got to get a little extended here from the 8. To get a little extended. The 8 was here. 8 at that time was 336, so the high was 362. So that's 26 points. 26 points, and the ATR on this thing was 10, 11, yeah. So it was more than two ATRs extended when it got up here. So that means it was likely to come back, which it did. It comes back, and it comes back right to the 8, and then hits the gap fill right here. So he hits the gap fill right here, and it's trying to bounce. So I do like this long. I may just take some calls this afternoon. I got into October. I've got the debit spread on, which I'll keep. I'll post the UNH if I take calls. I'll post that out here. Just I don't like getting into trades that haven't cleared the H yet when they're right up against it. Can I repeat that UNH debit spread for next Friday? Sure. UNH for next Friday. All right. I took the $340 calls expiring 9/26, and I sold the 342.50 calls expiring 9/26. It's a call debit spread for 340s to 342.50s, and I paid $1.07 for it, which is trading at right now. I don't expect a lot of movement in this with a week to go, um, but I just kind of want to get my foot in the door on the trade, and then I'll probably go from here to calls on it. Jonathan, sorry. Thought I had got my mic off before I sneezed. Thanks for all you YouTube folks coming to watch the room today. Again, here's my SPY Super System software right here, telling us about institutional buying and selling, current time frame momentum, multi-time frame momentum, long-term trend. This is my VWAP on the 15. This is on UNH that I just took a call debit spread on for next week. I'm looking to actually get into some calls on this thing out into October. I'm waiting to see if it gets above the 8 exponential moving average on the daily chart. The problem is that today is a crappy day. This is a no trend day. This is low probability trading environment. This market looks short, then it looks long. It's just not going anywhere. See, the market internals have turned back up again. They're chopping all over the place. I did close my Netflix put credit spread for 65 cents. I collected $1.05 on it, so I made $40 a contract on it, which I'm happy with it. I could have probably watched it the rest of the day, but I got too much other stuff I'm watching, so I just took the money from it and went from there. Ari, BBAI, unusual option activity for January 7th. $8 calls. Look at that. Big Bear. $7 and $8 calls, also $10 calls. Let me see what the volume looks like over there. Yeah, I see there's a couple 3,000 or so, but you know, it's not that unusually high. I mean, if you look at the $7 call for January 16th, it's got 27, almost 28,000 open interest on it, and the $10 call has got 55,000 open interest on it. So yeah, those are fairly good numbers today, 3,600 and 2,700. But relative to the open interest, it's not. It wouldn't be considered unusual option activity. It's pretty high, but it's not. Yeah, they're bull calls perhaps, but I mean, it's definitely bullish. But it is not unusual to see that kind of number of contracts when there's that much open interest in it. SPY moving up here now through the VWAP. My plan is on Nvidia on UNH is if I can get any kind of decent profits out of the debit spread today, which I kind of doubt, but if I am able to, I'll take the profits and I'll buy straight calls. That debit spread right now is $1.15. The 8 exponential on UNH is 338.77. We are now over it. Will we stay over it? That's the question. And this becomes an anticipatory trade if you try to get into these calls now. I might take some. I might take some right here. But I need to go out in time on these a little bit, which means they're going to be costly. Debit spread right now, UNH is going for $1.10. Yeah, they're going to be very, very expensive. A little after 12 o'clock here right now. Again, I took a call debit spread on UNH for next week, 340, 342.50, paid $1.07 for it. It's going for $1.10 right now. Again, I'm looking at buying calls for October. the 13th. But they're pretty expensive. The 330s, which are $9 in the money, are about almost $15 a contract. You get about $9.81 in it, so you get about $6 of time decay that's in those 330 calls. So resistance on the thing is pretty far up. Probably at least 350 is the first resistance level, then you get about 360 for the next resistance level. And I'm looking at buying the October 13th 330 calls. 330 calls. They're about $15, a little more right now. That's the one I'm looking at. Again, it's holding the 8 here. 338.75 is the 8. It's about a buck above the 8. And I do have a debit spread on it as well right now. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. 330 calls is what I'm looking to take. All right. Hey, Jonathan. Thanks. I appreciate that. Do I trade IBIT options? I have traded IBIT. Yeah, I've traded IBIT options. I've done some spreads on them. It's really choppy. IBIT is very, very choppy. I mean, you see what how it trades here. It's an ADR. It trades overseas. So you see this IBIT ETF. It's all over the place. Can you really discern any kind of a pattern in it? So I typically don't mess with them. If I get a big move in them, sometimes I'll put a straddle or a strangle on it, but that's about it. I'd rather trade something like coin if I was going to trade a crypto. I do have some shares in BMNR, which is a crypto stock that's basically in Ethereum. And it's a pretty nice chart here, and the reason I got it is because I took shares because it doesn't really move an awful lot. It does, but it doesn't move consistently. But it's got room up to $122 on this thing, so that's why I took some shares in BMN. I've had them for probably 3 weeks or so or more. Apple's been relentless. Come on, yeah, it's been up nicely. Apple been up nicely today. It's a nice candle. It's got room up to 247 and change for resistance. Nice move in Apple. This has been a very tough stock to trade lately. Not a good trading pattern, but it's nice right now. Palantir also looks good today and moving up. Gold's been strong today as well. See what gold is, but again, this is an ADR. This trades overseas. A lot of gaps in it. B, which is what Joe over the Discord room trades all the time. Barrett's is one of his favorite gold stocks. Beautiful move in Barrett. Also Newmont Mining with a nice move today. Newmont's a nice trade stock today. See how choppy gold is. You see how Newmont kind of goes up, grinds up, follows this 8 exponential moving average, just keeps following it up. IBM today up against resistance. Meta, ugly candle in Meta today. Very ugly. Netflix, I took my put credit spread off. Could have kept a little bit more forward, I guess, because it's up to 12.24 now. But I was happy with it. I got $40 contract profit on it, so that was good. VSAT, one of the positions we're in, is a piece of garbage. We're not going to get anything out of this one, and we're not going to get anything out of the straddle either, because it's strangle either is not doing anything. It's right in the middle of the range. And we took profits on Lanier this morning, about 20% profits on Lanier. That was a time spread. Our halo position that was swinging looks pretty good. Still in GNRC, which is another swing trade. Whoops, that's not it. I wish it looked like that. GNRC right here, but again, holding the 50 right around the 8 and 15. MNDY is another good one. I had that yesterday, took it off. Probably should have held it by the looks of that, but it popped right up again today. And I'm still in PGY. I sold half of my position yesterday for really nice profits. In at 675, out at 820 and 880, and I'm still in it with the remaining, and I'm going to hold. And these go out to October 17th. And if you look in here, the reason is, look at the size of the gap that this thing is in. Massive gap. And it goes all the way up over $80. Right up here around $84. So that's why I'm holding these. But yeah, VST is going to be a nasty trade, and you get some of these each from time to time. This was a bad one. It still looks really good. It looked good when I took it. I still like the technicals on it. We just don't have much time. I do have some October calls on it, which I'm probably going to hold as long as it holds up on VSAT. But right now it hasn't, but we'll see what it does. Shy, 100% Google Lottos off the VWAP. Nice job. Nice job. All right there. All right. Can everybody see my screen all right? I had a little, something just glitched in the GoToWebinar. My screen look okay? Yeah, okay, thanks. Excellent. Thank you very much. About 12:20. Market just trying to move up here. The SPY getting up toward the pivot point now with a nice little move to the upside. William, you have the tunes on? Talking to somebody else, are you? I'm buying the October 3rd calls for UNH. October 3rd calls, the 3:30 strike. Buy the October 3rd, 3:30 calls. And it's going to be expensive. It's going to be about $15. Again, this is an anticipatory trade. We're getting in here when we don't have a confirmation that it's going to close above the 8. But it's above it, and I'm going to take a chance on it and get into it now. Say, Dan, 15 looks like 1/3 UNH calls. Yeah, that's what it is. 10-3, yeah. October 3rd. Suzanne, tick is giving a conviction to support the SPY super system. Yeah, the ticks are also, it's a good indication of market strength up or down. Yep. 15.10, Gary, Terry, that's fine. Just made a quick trade shy on Apple Lottos for 30%. Very good. A lot of scalping going on right now. Again, it's a low probability trading environment. I'm not looking to scalp here right now, but I am like in UNH, and so I put that trade on. Made money. The linear spread is closed. We took profits on linear. This Adobe's got to be a piece of garbage. Looking for this thing to move, but it's trading 364.40, right in the middle, pretty much. And PGY again, I sold half of those yesterday. Still in it, and I'm still looking for get back into it. Add some more if it bounces. It's trying to bounce right now. It went down close to the 8 today. And VSAT, can't too much say about that. It's trash. Halo looks good though. Halo up nicely today. That's a nice chart on Halo. And GNRC has just been very frustrating, but still very bullish setup. Market ticks. What is Suzanne referring to? You know, tick, T-I-C-K, the tick you can get. This ticks. They have different ways to look at it. I don't use them myself, William, but a lot of people do. I know over in the Discord room they use ticks. Thanks, Aaron. My reactions are hilarious. You don't know what it is? I always have zero emotion in trading, so hearing me say heartburn and piece of garbage makes you laugh. Well, listen, I just call them. We don't. Every trade's not going to be a winner, so that's the way it is. There's no sense getting upset about trades that you have losers on. See, I know that over time, I'm going to be profitable. I continue to be profitable, but nobody likes to lose. You think I like this VSAT trade? No, believe me, I've probably got a lot more money at risk here than most people do here. And yeah, it's a piece of garbage, but that's the way it is. But I've had tons of our July numbers with 30 wins and 3 losses. That was a very big month, and August was decent too. September's been great. This VSAT trade's going to hurt, and this Adobe trade's going to hurt, but we're still going to be green for the month going into next week. Yeah, ticks. Yeah, you're at 60. M5 is like ticks to you. Exactly. I don't use tick chart. I mean, I'm not looking at ticks. That's a scalping, scalping area. But you can look at the ticks on a 5-minute basis and get a feel for them. I don't do that, but I mean, I know some people do use that. I use the T2104 and the VOLD over here. I stick to T2104 and the SPY to give me a good indication of what the market internals look like. And right now they just look like chop. That's all they look like. Again, UNH. Well, we're in UNH now. I'm on a debit spread and I've got straight calls on UNH. UNH moving up pretty nicely here. Don't know if my spread's doing a lot, but let's see what is that. Yeah, my spread that I paid $1.07 for, the 340, 250 is trading at $1.17 right now. Now it's $1.25. And UNH paid $15 for it roughly. They're trading trading at about $15.82 right now, closing in on $16. Hey Jackson, intraday chart like snow. What do I look for CDS? Intraday chart. Well, if I'm going to do a CDS, obviously I'm looking for an idea of how far it's going to go. If I look at my daily chart on snow right here, pretty nice pop here. Now, if you're doing a CDS, if you're doing it for today's expiration, it's basically like a lottery, So you're just trying to get in cheap. You're looking for where this thing is going to go to. Take a look at the 5-minute. It's kind of a chase right now. I would be waiting for, if you're going to do a CDS for this week, I'd be waiting for a pullback to the 15 or toward the VWAP, and then a bounce, and then buy it. And I would do it later in the day as a lottery. Now, if you're going to do it for next week, anytime you've got a decent setup like this, all you really want is you just want a little bit of a pullback on the 5 so you can get a good price on it. And where do you think it can go? On a CDS in this, you're looking at maybe 230, and this is the next likely resistance levels are up here around 234. So you probably want to do a 230, 235 or something like that. And just off the top of my head, without getting into the option prices, etc. Call debit spreads at this time of day with expiration on Friday are just lotteries. You're almost better off wait till later in the day and take really cheap today expiration calls. Today's calls that expire today, and just buy them cheap. Whoops, my mic is off. Yep, I turned my mic off. Sorry. He was asking about doing a call debit spread on snow, and it depends on whether you're talking about doing it expiring today or expiring next week. If you're talking about doing it today, I mean, you think it's going to keep on running up, then you can try it, or you could wait for a pullback. Typically, you'd be better off waiting for a pullback till closer to the close, or closer this afternoon, and get a bounce, and then you could just take straight calls in it expiring today as a lottery. And if you want to do a debit spread in it, you can do like a 230, 235, and probably get in, relatively cheap, expiring today. Now, if you're doing it next week, it's going to cost more, and that's a decent setup. But how far extended is it on this stock? And not too bad. It's not too far extended from the 8. No, so no, it's only extended by less than a half of an ATR. DXCM, good short, Ari. Phew. Yeah, it's really taking a pounding here. Here's the daily chart on it right there. It's a pretty big move down today. Getting a little extended. Support down here at 62.34. First you get 67.04, which is close to. Definitely a short for sure. Thing has been kind of flopping all over the place here, but move down, popped up, move down, popped up, move down, down hard. I'd be careful about chasing that this far down. It's going to be extended, but for intraday trade, this is a nice short. It's likely to keep on heading down. It doesn't seem to care what the market's doing, as the market's heading up. At 12:39, I'm getting a little hungry here. Time to get a little lunch. All right, get some lunch. And again, I took off my Netflix, put credit spread. It's up to 12.24 now. I could have made more money on it, but again, I wanted to get it out of the way. This morning, I didn't know what the market was going to do, and it was trading at like $1.90 earlier today, and then I was able to get out at 65 cents when I collected $1.05. So I made $40 profit per contract, and I took the risk off. I didn't want to chance of pullback on expiration day, so that worked out pretty well. You can always listen. You can always, in hindsight, you can always think you should have done better. The Netflix down to 14 cents now. All right, so I'm gonna get some food. AMU, MU isn't Palantir is a resistance? Is it near resistance now, Palantir? Let's take a look. No, I don't have any resistance. No high volume resistance on Palantir. The last resistance line I've got on Palantir, which consisted of a high volume candle, was right here. This line that goes through this one right here. And so that was none of these are high volume candles. You got one over here, but you see where that is? That's also that top of that candle. So no, it doesn't really have any resistance above here right now. It's a nice setup long. I mean, it's got some candlesticks above where it's trading, but they're not high volume candlesticks, and we've got pretty good volume today, so I don't consider it a near resistance at all. Again, UNH trading at 340.39 with an 8 exponential moving average at 338.92. So just barely above the 8. Again, the trade we took was that's a fairly speculative trade. It's what's called a whoops, let me get that. but it's basically a predictive trade. You're getting in, and it's anticipating that the 8's going to hold today on UNH. All right, folks at YouTube, I'm going to close that down over there. I appreciate all the YouTube followers today. Thanks very much. We'll be here back again on Monday at 11:30. Again, you can obviously go to rightlinetrading.com to join my room on my alert service or buy the software. This software is outstanding software. The SPY Super System software gives you the multi-time frame right here, multi-time frame, current time frame, momentum, long-term trend. You can trade 5-minute candlesticks off of this using this current time frame momentum, or you can trade daily candlesticks using for a swing trade using the multi-time frame momentum and the current time frame momentum being aligned, green and blue long, red and yellow short. All right, have a good one, everybody. Here's the note, by the way. Here's the phone number for anybody who is interested in talking to Rightline Sergio, not Sergio, but Rory at Rightline about getting into the room or getting the alert service or buying the software. 786-732-4656. Okay. There's the number there in case you want it. SPY's creeped up above the pivot point here. Okay, I'm going to shut down the YouTube feed so I can get ready to get something to eat. Thanks very much, folks, and we'll see everybody from YouTube back here on Monday, 11:30. We're open for about an hour or so. We run the room. Now, the room is open all day. Anybody who's a member of my room, I'm here all day long from market open to market close. So I just wanted to give you some, flavor of what the room is like. Spend a lot of time talking about charts, answering questions, talking about strategies. Hey, Dario, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Okay, everybody, we will